Hey guys, OGalbina here, bringing you guys our BBR Season 6, Week number 8 battle against Druby and his New York Mirage. It is a win or go home game for us. Game doesn't matter too much for Druby, but man, does it matter for us. We basically have to win to secure playoffs. Now, if we do lose, there are instances in which we can, but I'm not leaving it up to chance, especially after last week and the misclip shenanigans and not good. So we super sweated this game. If you guys are hype to see if we make the playoffs or not, be sure to drop a like on the video as well as subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 3,000 subscribers, and I would really appreciate it if you help me out along in reaching that journey. And yeah, with that being said, let's do a quick little team build just so you can see what we're bringing and why we're bringing it, so you have that background knowledge and context going into the battle. If you want to jump ahead to the battle, you can go ahead and do so. There's a timestamp on the screen and in the description below. Alrighty, let's do it. Our team, if you did forget, consists of Chien-Pao, Terra Ground and Fairy Enamorus, Glamora, Corviknight, Slitherwing, Alola-Mola, Mudsdale, Goodra, Rotom-Moat, and Hisuian Typhlosion. Well, our opponent's team is at the bottom of the screen, and it consists of Palafin, Hisuian Lilligant, Terra Grass and Fairy, Iron Moth, that's its name, Amoonguss, Slowbro Galar, Mousehold, Dragonite, Frostlass, Arboliva, and Berserker. Now, off rip, it's a really interesting matchup because while I don't think Druby's team is super structurally sound, he has a lot of Pokemon that can kind of just Mickey and beat us if we play it incorrect. There's a lot of big threats on this team. Dragonite wins if you don't play around it correctly. Iron Moth wins if I don't play around it correctly. Even Mousehold can win if I don't play around it correctly, but then also more so the Hisuian Lilligant and the Palafin. And all four of those mons, minus the Mousehold, obviously, because he sucks, have a great matchup into me. So I have to be super careful about how I play around these threats. I actually mocked a ton for this week. Again, big shouts to everybody that helped me out. I even, pulled the big guns and got Kaz to help me, so big thank you to him. He really helped me buckle down this team, get what I needed. But again, shouts to Joey, Kirby, Dell. I think Big gave me a mock in the front office. I think Dax did. A bunch of people in the front office gave me mocks for this one as well. So again, big shouts to you guys. And we can talk about our first mon here, which is going to be Choice Band Chien-Pao, rocking out with Crunch, Icicle Crash, Ice Shard, and Sacred Sword. We got max attack, 64 defense, and 192 speed with an adamant nature. This Pokemon goes buck wild in this game, guys. There is no switching to the move Crunch plus Icicle Crash. His Ice Resist right now is going to be something like Palafin, which doesn't want to switch in and take up Banded Crunch. And something like Berserker, which isn't great. And then something like Iron Moth, which takes about 70%. His Crunch Resist, even more so, is ridiculously free because it's Hisuian Lilligant. So we can kind of just come in, click Crunch or Icicle Crash and kill something. Ice Shard is going to be great for things that are boosted up and getting out of hand, potentially like the Hisuian Lilligant, Dragonite. And then I have Sacred Sword for a Pokemon I forgot to put on the freaking layout, Garganacl. Good job, Owen. But there's a Garganacl as well, which honestly is best check. It can take 2 hits from Chien-Pao, but the way that it was going in mocks is Garganacl would come in, be max Fist Def, take a Crunch, and be able to take another one. It would force me out, but it would be forcing me to recover, and then I can go into my other physical breaker that always starting it out, and I could kind of slowly whittle down the team in that way. So definitely excited in that regard to think Chien-Pao. And again, with just hazards up, it's 6-0s, or just not necessarily hazards because we don't actually have any, but with just chip on things, it just 2-hit KOs everything. Then we have our Assault Vest Glamora, rocking with Power Gem, Sludge Wave, Earth Power, and Mortal Spin. EVs wise, we got 248 HP, 4 special attack, 48 speed F, and 208 speed with Timid Nature. This is going to be our main Iron Moth switching. Yeah, we can take Psychics pretty well. I believe we can lift 2 after Rocks, and that thing really does cook me otherwise. Like, it's genuine, this is like my only counterplay. Something like Goodra, I guess, could have also worked, but it's pretty bad in this matchup, in my opinion. And then maybe some kind of Typhlosion, but I didn't feel comfortable bringing Typhlosion into a team like this, so we went with this AV Glamora because it's also going to allow me to Mortal Spin to keep hazards away. It's decent offensively. It can force in things like Amoonguss as well as the Garganacl, and again, if Garganacl comes in, I get an Earth Power off on it. All looking great. But even things like Amoonguss, I have good pivots into, and I can kind of exploit his more passive Pokemon, where this does a lot of damage to his offense as well, which is, again, really good. This also checks Special D-Knight, which I haven't really mentioned, but I'm really expecting a special attacking D-Knight in this game. Hurricane, Ice Beam, Flamethrower / Thunderbolt hits everything on my team incredibly hard, so there's also a good check to that set. Then we have a Choice Scarf for Mo, Thunderbolt, Leaf Storm, Trick, and Volt Switch. Got 48 HP, max special attack, and 208 speed with Timid Nature. This is my Palafin check, which is a little bit scary. I know I have a Alola-Mola, but if you've ever used a Alola-Mola, you'll know how passive it is. And Palafin really does bully that thing. If he does elect to be like a sub-bulk up variant into this team, it super cooks Aloe, so we have to be very, very careful about that. But we can kind of grab free Volts on this team as well. His ground type is... Yep, that's it. He does not have a ground type. So we can kind of grab Volt switches. There is a couple great switches to it, and things like Amoonguss, even something like Hisuian Lilligant against Arset, Arboliva, Galar Slowking. Like, there's some good pivots into this Pokemon, but that's okay because those Pokemon that are coming in are very liable to get broken down by Qianpao and our other breaker in this game, which we'll talk about here in a minute. Right up next is going to be our choice Banded Slithering. Rocking with Flare Blitz, First Impression, U-Turn, and Close Combat. Max HP, pretty much 248 HP, max attack, and 80 defense with an Adamant Nature. I mean, look at this Pokemon. This Pokemon in conjunction with Qianpao goes absolutely buck wild this game. I love the First Impression priority too on a Banded set for something like Hisuian Lilligant, even for something like Iron Moth, even for something like Dragonite. These resist to them. If they get low, they're not going to appreciate an Adamant Banded First Impression. Same thing with Palafin, and it really does bully a lot of his, fatter things. It's great for the Garganacl. I can come in, force it out. I even kill Fizdef with a Banded Close Combat, so I get off a big U-turn into something like Amoonguss and something like Slowking. They take like 40%. Banded Flare Blitz can nuke most Amoongus's from full, which is awesome. It also catches the Frostless if it wants to be aggressive and come in. Again, this Pokemon is a very, very good pivot and momentum grabber for the rest of our team, so I'm definitely really excited for this. This Pokemon plus Qianpao, if we can play aggressively enough, should be really good. Then, speaking of pivots, we have our Corviknight. We're rocking out with Brave Bird, U-Turn, Body Press, and Bruce. Max Fizdef in this game. This is going to be our main pivot into something like a physical Dragonite. We need to make sure we have some kind of, answer for that. We could take a hit from the Palafin, especially from the Hisuian Lilligant. It's going to be our main check to Hisuian Lilligant. If it's not Life Orb, it won't 2-hit KO us. But it is mostly here to also pivot into that Amoonguss, whether it be Amoonguss or like a Sleep Powder Victory Dance Hisuian Lilligant, which I could definitely potentially see coming. This will stop it with the safety goggles. I won't be put to sleep. I'll either be able to Brave Bird them both for huge damage, nuking the Lilligant in that regard, but do a lot of damage to the Amoonguss, which can't touch us if it can't spore us. And then I can obviously U-turn out, expecting a switch out, which is very likely. Then I get in my Slithering, then I get in my Qianpao, and I get to kind of just start clicking buttons and doing some damage. So I'm definitely really excited for Corviknight this game. I think it's going to do incredibly, incredibly well as that, pivot into that Lilligant and that Amoonguss especially. Then lastly, probably, I guess, the heat of the week, we have an Assault Vest Enamorus, which is pretty cool. We are 8 HP, max attack, and 248 speed with a Jolly Nature. We're Play Rough, Terra Blast, Zen Headbutt, and Superpower. In this game, we are full physical this week, and this is a bit of a weird set, right? I know you see AV. I was originally just 4 attacks. I think I had Expert Belt in order to, get it to a KO on a lot of different Amoonguss variants or something like that, as well as do a lot of damage to T-Knight at +1 even through multi-scale. But then I kind of realized that, that special D-Knight pivot is really scary for my team, and I want to be able to have something they could switch in on like a Hurricane mid-ground early game, or like a Flamethrower or a Thunderbolt. And this thing can, obviously with an Assault Vest, when we go Pure Fairy, we can take these hits pretty darn well, and potentially threaten it out or gauge and see what kind of set it is. If it's full special, I can pivot into Glamora, whatever it might be. But it also does really well offensively with that AV, because with that AV, once we boost up our defense, we have that special defense already boosted. We can superpower into a Galarian Slowbro and then either blow it up with a Terra Blast if it's not Fizdef or Shuka, or 2-hit KO it. Same thing with the Amoonguss. If I'm not worried about getting spored, which it probably will be, I can superpower Zen Headbutt, be in a good spot. So obviously that AV is coming up pretty clutch here in this instance. But yeah, we do have to be careful about Palafin jet punching us, obviously. But honestly, if I'm forcing Palafin into a position where it needs to jet punch, that's great, because my Rotom can take jet punches, which means I have a pivot. So again, kind of using that defensive weakness to our advantage. But yeah, that is going to be the team. We gotta win this week, guys, so we'll see what we can do. Let's jump into the battle after, actually. Sorry, let me shout out the channel members of this week. In our big on tier, we have D-Double, Olivia Sama, Zeke, Goose, Matrix, Oddsar, and Endless Gadgets. In our Shelgon tier, we have Thriller. Then in our Salamence tier, we have Noah and Big Mouth. Big shouts to you. I love you guys. If you guys want to go ahead and become a channel member, there's a little join button down there. Go check it out. It's pretty cool perks. And yeah, now let's jump into the battle. Alrighty guys, here we are with the battle. We are connected with Druby. Let's see what he brought. Ooh, I'm nervous. We have no Amoonguss. And no Frostless, which is all good things. We have Slowbro. Hisuian Lilligant. Why can't I spell Lilligant? Lilligant. There we go. We got Palafin. I almost said Finizen, because he do be looking like the little guy. Iron Moth. We got a Dragonite. And we got Garganackle. Okay, so as I mentioned, the Teambuilder plan is always to lead off with our Choice Band Slithering. We just click U-turn on basically everything. The only thing that stops is obviously Moth, D-Knight, or the Hisui Lilligant. Those things we have to pivot out. Everything else we just drop a fat U-turn on. And we can put ourselves in a pretty good spot. So, yeah. I'm nervous, but we got this. I am nervous, but we got this. Good luck and fun to Drewby. Again, really hoping we pull this one out. I am very nervous. So yeah, let's do it. Alright, let's see what he leads with. The Area Zero theme, or like the AI Professor theme, literally never gets old, by the way. We have a Garganackle lead, which is beautiful to see. Honestly, I should U-turn. Yeah, I should U-turn because I don't need to overplay on him staying in or whatever it may be. I get good momentum immediately. Even if he wants to stay in, that's a Choice Band U-turn, which means he's in 2-hit KO range from Crunch, from Banded Crunch. So not a terrible position to be in. He should never give this to us. He did. That's fucking crazy. Man, oh man. So I think our play initially is to go into Bon Clay, get a tear off, and just superpower. He's just gonna Stealth Rock too, which is again very, very wild. We are just gonna go ahead and superpower immediately. He has just leftovers too. So we're gonna tear ground and we're just gonna superpower. We lose nothing in doing so. He's gonna withdraw. He's in 2-hit KO range from Crunch. We can spin these rocks away. So that's fine. I really wish I just Terra Blasted, but it's okay. +1/+1 to a Slowbro. Now keep in mind we are also AV. Actually does nothing, but it's okay. Galler. I mean, we do a shit ton to Slowbro, right? Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and drop the Terra Blast. And he could be Shuka, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with this trade. He's not Shuka. If he's Spadef, we might knock him out here. There we go, baby. Oh, we got a crit. Ooh, that might matter. If he was not Spadef, we killed there. After the superpower damage. So we are +1/+1 AV. So that means there's not much that really wants to take us on. Lilligant Hisui. For a +1, he actually... The Dragonite's gonna come out. I think it is always my play to superpower first. Because I also live in a special hit. I am AV. So I think I should always superpower first. And then we'll play rough. So we are going to superpower. Another crit. Look at me. Now, he could be special, but it's okay. Yeah, just don't freeze me. Super offensive. And now from here, we just play rough. So, shouts to Assault Vest and Enamorus going crazy on lead, basically. We are at +2/+2, so Palafin will also not knock us out. Let's look at Baby Finn. Yeah, we're in a good spot. Iron Moth is going to be switching. We are going to see that it is Quark Drive Special Attack. Speed. Iron Moth. If he has Terra Grass, he does kill us here. Even if he is not Terra Grass, as long as he has E-Ball, he does kill us here. So I think it's always my play to pivot out, because I can keep this to break. And I just attack what's in front of me. He's gonna E-Ball. Nothing. Perfect. So, I am going to Power Gem here, because Power Gem should put him very closely in range of Qian Pao, is the main thing. So we are just going to Power Gem. Again, a bit of a 50-50 here. Again, if he wants to switch out, that's fine too, because he wasted his booster. And on things like Garganackle, I can go ahead and Mortal Spin into Earth Power, keep him low, and put myself in a position to win the game. He is booster speed, so we do have to keep that in mind. He is booster speed, we have to keep that in mind. He might not Terra. We'll see. We'll see. He's gonna withdraw. That's fine. No more booster. That means Pow, like, revenges. This thing's gonna come in. It's gonna take a fat Power Gem to the face. He is gonna be a leftover set. So, that also makes me wonder. I don't think it's worth staying in. I think I always go Rotom, and I can always just Volt. Right? Yeah. I think I always go Rotom, and I always just Volt. If he switches here, it also shows that my Glamora is faster, which matters for substitute plays. He's gonna Jet Punch. That's fine. You see, he's lefty set too, so he's not super offensive. Or he's not, at least he's not banded, so we can play a little bit more conservatively around this thing, I guess is the way to put it. We are just going to go ahead and Volt Switch, though. We are just going to go ahead and Volt Switch. And we'll go from there. But yeah, should be able to grab good momentum here. His only resist to my dual stabs right now is something like Lilligant. If he wants to go Garganackle, again, I'm in a good position. I'm fine with that. He can't really do that, though. Like, I feel like he's, like, forced into either a Moth or a Lilligant pivot. We're just staying in sacking this, which obviously is not the play. So we're going to go ahead and Volt out. Moth is going to come in, and I think this is my opportunity to get off that Mortal Spin. We do get a crit, too. Oh my god, I'm getting crits on deck. Holy moly. But yeah, I can go back out into Robin, and I can just go ahead and Mortal Spin, get away with these rocks. And this thing is basically low enough to where I'm not worried about it anymore. We're gonna go ahead and Mortal Spin. I want these gone. If Guard comes in, I just Earth Power, Mortal Spin, Earth Power, Mortal Spin. He'll never keep up rocks against me. If only Mortal Spin boosted speed like Rapid Spin, I would, like, be in a really good spot. But if he likes to switch here, too, if he likes to switch, I'm in a good spot in the sense that, like, something gets poisoned, besides Garg. So if he wants to go Finn again, Finn is going to get poisoned, and that's good for me. That means it's not going to be able to sub-bulk up, and I'm in a good spot. He's going to withdraw, so if this is Garg, I just Earth Power. Yep, it is Garg. So I'm going to Mortal Spin into just spamming Earth Power. So we get rid of the rocks away from our team, and we're just going to spam Earth Power. I have no reason to do anything else. I have no reason to do anything else. I don't need this anymore. I'm just going to go ahead and Earth Power. Eventually I'll get Spadef drops. I don't have to play around this thing, you know? There's also a sack to Lilligant too. If Lilligant wants to come in, it is just going to come in. Cool, that is a 2-hit KO. Cursed. Okay, I'm fine with that. Cool. So we get to reset tempo here as well. Like, we're in a good spot in that regards. So, he's gonna get lefties back with that 2-hit KOs. He's max Fizz Def. So, this is good for me. This is great for me, in fact. I'm just going to go ahead and Earth Power again. I'm just gonna go ahead and Earth Power again. Whew. I'll just Earth Power. Blim gets a kill there. The double AV core going crazy right now. Double AV core going crazy. We're also very close to Thunderbolt winning. It's just that Lilligant. It is just that Lilligant. Palafin's gonna come out. I'm not gonna let it sub. Sub is bad positioning for me. So let's see Palafin, Hero, if he's like bulk up. Max HP, Sludge Wave still breaks sub. So I always prevent sub here. He's slower than me too. So what I think I do now is I think I actually do Pivot Road him. Because now he is behind a sub. Yeah. I think I Pivot Road him. I Volt sack this. Pivot back Road him, Volt. And I'm in a good spot. He's gonna Jet Punch here. And he will not be able to sub. Again, I also don't want this in for the Lilligant to get out of hand, too. I am just gonna go ahead and Volt Switch. Break the sub. And again, now I should be able to prevent sub. These spikes are going to go up. It's fine. Now he's not going to be able to sub on me. And if he tries, it's not going to work out well. I don't know if that's enough HP, but obviously I outspeed, so it doesn't matter. And I would break sub anyways, so we are just going to go ahead and Sludge Wave. We are going to see a Jet Punch come out. Toxic Breeze is going to go up. Gamora is going to go down, but that is okay. That is A-okay. And then from here, we do just go Rotom. We are just going to Volt Switch. We are faster. We live crit Jet Punch. He is going to save it. Probably go Moth. He does get rid of the T-Spikes, which is a bit annoying. We do not get another crit. Unlucky. Now from here... I'm pretty sure my best positioning is going Zoro and clicking a Banded Sacred Sword, right? It is the best neutral click into everything. Into Lilligant, Hisui. Sacred Sword can just kill it. So I think it's my best neutral click into everything. We're just gonna Sacred Sword. Because we are banded. If we weren't banded, we just crunch there. But obviously we are. So we can go ahead and Sacred Sword here. Palafin. Let's see if he's bulk up. Hero. Sacred Sword is more than enough. And at this point, I just sack this in order to get off damage. If he's Scarf, he's Scarf, and I can see that now. If not, we could just kill. That's great. Perfect. So I think we just win. We got the roll, which is good. I just can't let that thing set up, and I was trying to position myself to where it couldn't click Victory Dance on even a miss. And And obviously this guy's a little scary too. We're just gonna Sacred Sword, and that should be Pal cleaning it up. We should live even a crit here. We did. Awesome. So I think that's playoff berth for us, guys. I think we're good. I think we clinched it after a bit of a mishap with this little guy right here. Misclicking last week. I don't know if I should say that. But I'm glad we were able to pull out the win. GG's Ruby. I know his season was a little bit rough, but like he had some really scary things. He obviously makes great content as well. And I know he's killing it in PPL right now. So if you guys want to check him out, obviously I'm sure you know who Ruby is though if you're over here. You know, a little bit bigger guy than me. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys around when the playoffs. Adios.